it going, everybody? I'm just going to record a quick tutorial on how to resolve a sticking lock actuator on a Ford Excursion. It's a pretty common problem I know a lot of people are running into is when the lock on your hatch is sticking and it's not unlocking, or your actuator goes out and it's not allowing you to get into the trunk of your Excursion. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to remove your trim. Your trim is held on by two pieces of two trim bolts, screws. I'm not sure exactly what they're called. They're held on right here, so you don't want to remove them from each side. Here's where one's located right here. The other located on the other side. On your trim panel, obviously I already have my trim panel pulled off to make the video a little quicker. It's pushed in through here. It's like looks like almost like a roofing nail, plastic roofing nail. Mine's broke. They were dried up pretty well and ended up breaking on me. Second one, obviously is over here. Then you're gonna want to pull the bolts from the handles, and then just yank. You're gonna want to go ahead and pull firmly on the trim on the edges when it's mounted up to your hatch, and it'll pop right off. I appreciate Ford not using some funky mounting system for their trim pieces. Comes right off, nice firm pull. Once you go ahead and move your toss your trim to the side. Saw a little trick on Facebook on the Excursion forum of, you know, keeping your doors open, and it allows you to work on your car if you're sitting on the inside of it. Here I already have the sound deadening moved aside, and here goes your locking actuator right here. This is where your key's at right here. Your key pulls on the rod as you turn it, and it moves this whole locking mechanism right here. Try to get a better shot of it. So it's moving this locking mechanism, and obviously this rod has a ton of play in it. I'm not too sure exactly why they did that, maybe to allow for the full stroke of the key as you're turning it, but it has a ton of play in it, and all it's really doing is moving this small pin right here. If I could get a better look at it, this small pin right here is really what's locking and unlocking your door. So that small pin is the pin that's usually going up on you, binding up on you. So also get a little bind up right here. It doesn't allow this to move very freely. So once you do get access to this, you're gonna want to hit it with some WD-40 or your lubrication of choice, spit, whatever it is, and cycle it a few times just to break it loose. I already threw some WD-40 on it. I forgot to mention a piece of information. I went ahead and already removed the lock actuator. This is obviously this is the wiring harness for the lock actuator. Here's my old actuator right here. It was no longer working, and I guess it's a pretty difficult part to go out also. If you are looking to replace them, they are the left-hand side actuators. So if you're looking up online, Amazon has them for about 15 bucks. AutoZone, I think you go to like any chain store, they're going to be about 30 bucks. But there's your left-hand side signal, so that's your driver's side. Well, it's going to be the left-hand side. This is the Amazon one I got for 15 bucks. So this is a little piece right here that goes in the slot on the actuator on the door. On the locking mechanism on the door. Fits in one of these slots. It has a ton of play in this one. It sounds like it's broken loose on the inside, so it's not really making good contact. This one's obviously brand new, so very difficult to move. You can hear it grabbing that motor. It mounts up inside the locking mechanism. It slides to this slot, onto this slotted bar right here, so there's no bolts or anything like that. The pin on the actuator goes inside here, so it's kind of difficult to put it on with just one hand. Since I'm still trying to record at the same time, I'll give it a try right now. It slides right on. Excuse me, I'll put the camera down for a second. Okay, so here we go. I got it started. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide right on right here. Same way I'm putting it on is the same way you're gonna be taking off. So it's gonna go ahead and push it in until it fits inside that slot. Oh, gonna want to get a move that. There we go. Make sure the actuator is actually inside the slot. Push that on. And there we go. It's not pushed all the way forward on that, but let's go ahead and make good contact in there. Run the harness through that, the opening. Puts right in. There we go, we're in business. Just cycle it a few times if you happen to have your fob with you. The key fob, you can cycle it a few times to see. Make sure it's moving the pin all together, because when that's the bind up spot right there is going to be that pin. That little pin I showed you in the beginning. See if I can find it. It's actually right in the way, it's pretty difficult to see. Yeah, it's pretty difficult to see, so try to get a good angle on it. So it's currently unlocked. I'm gonna lock it. Unlock it. Neighbors are probably tired of hearing that because I've been cycling it for about 20 times just to make sure it works before I mount my trim back up. There we go. That's all money. And then when you're all done, you pretty much put everything back in reverse. Pound the trim pieces back on. You know, luckily they just push back on, and hopefully that's going to resolve your stuck door issues, your stuck hatch issues. If you do happen to have either one of the unlucky ones where the locking mechanism stopped working on you while the door hatch was closed, you're gonna have to crawl through the back of your rig, get to your hatch, and pull on your trim, and you're gonna have to end up overcoming those two mounting bolt, trim. I don't know exactly what you call them, but they're like trim roofing nails. They almost look like roofing nails. They have a nice big flat head. You're gonna have to pull. I would say you would have to pull the middle part of your trim, pull it out as much as you can, and it's only gonna be held on by this edge right here and the other end right here, and hopefully it could give you enough access to be able to manually move your locking mechanism right here to unlock your door, or you can move the pull on the rod, and in order to gain access and unlock your door and open it from there. But yeah, that's how I'm pretty sure that's how you would have to open your door from the inside if it were to have locked on you and failed on you while the hatch was shut. All right, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment or message me. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Hopefully this video is helpful. Thank you for watching.